What do you think of the teaming up with Tay Kenny?
I like the team. Yeah, I mean, me and Taylor, we're talking about that in the summertime when he had committed to overtime. Talking about teaming up and stuff like that. So finally seeing is that we're on the same team. It's gonna be a good feeling.
Are y'all close? Do y'all know each other?
Yeah. We know each other. We close.
Was that something y'all put together behind the scenes? Like, was the draft rigged? Because come on, there's way too many overlaps there. Y'all, I feel like y'all rigged the draft.
Nah, something like that. But I mean, it definitely works in our best interest to team up.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I guess let's just talk about that. Let's start there. OTE. You're moved into school, a new fresh start for you. Just what has this experience been like for you? The early couple of weeks that you've been there, and just kind of your early expectations now that you know what team you're going to be playing for.
Yeah, I'm been liking it. Adjusting to it pretty well. I mean, new environment. I know it's for betterment of my development. Everything I need is really there in one location. So just being in the gym with different coaches and hearing everybody's opinions and things like that, and having high expectations going into the season. But I'm definitely liking my move to overtime.
How much did it help having kind of a guaranteed product? Seeing what happened with Rob Dillingham, where he goes to OTE, he works there, and then goes to Kentucky and becomes a top 10 pick. Did it make you feel better knowing that, hey, they have put top 10 draft picks in the league? I can kind of follow in their footsteps and do something similar.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know they've been producing a lot of NBA talent over the years, and seeing people and different players come here and grow and get better, and then go to the next level and perform there, and then get to be able to be drafted is a good thing. That seeing that they've have other players like my caliber before and produce well.
Now, obviously, the big news, that's for the now, but next step, going to the University of Kentucky, that commitment happens, and BBN is as excited as ever. What was that like to kind of get that weight off your shoulders? Such a back and forth. So many schools that you grew up like in UNC, Alabama is pushing from day one to get you, and pulling you in so many different directions, and then to just kind of say, all right, my heart's in Lexington, let's just kind of stay home. What was the weight coming off your shoulder? What did that feel like?
I mean, it felt good. I'm happy to say I'm committed to the University of Kentucky. I mean, I know it was a long journey for me. A lot of different coaches and programs reached out to me. I mean, very grateful and blessed to be able to have the opportunity to, have offers to different schools and be able to pick which one I get to go to. But I mean, I'm definitely excited to, play at the University of Kentucky and, bring as much joy to the fans as possible that I can.
I got a question, Jasper. Just kind of going back to when Mark Pope was first hired, do you remember how soon it was when he was hired that he reached out to you and your camp and tried to start recruiting you?
Yeah, I remember. I remember he had FaceTime me, like right when he had moved in and was going in his office and things like that. But I didn't know the number, so I declined it. And I texted him. I was like, who's this with a question mark? He was like, it's Coach Pope. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna call you right back, so you better answer this time. And I was like, yeah. So I mean, he called me, asked me a couple questions and things like that, just try to get to know me a little bit, and told me he was gonna be recruiting me. I mean, and then he, re-offered me, and so I mean, we just built our relationship from there.
Did he re-offer you right then?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Gotcha.
When did you know? Like, when was the okay? It's time. That I know that this is right for me. This is where home is. Like, what was that deciding moment for you?
What was that deciding moment? I feel like it was a lot of different times, where I thought I was like, man, I mean, I would really like to go to Kentucky, but I was just staying patient with my decision. But it was just one night. It came to me. I was praying about it each and every night, talking to my family and everything, just hoping to get a sign. And I mean, it really just came down to my heart. I had a feeling. I mean, I really wanted to play for the University of Kentucky, so to be able to represent my city and my state, to my next point in college, and then when I get to the NBA, have that behind me that I played for the University of Kentucky. That's really what's on my mind.
Does it feel different today than it did 2 weeks ago? Now, on that, you're officially a Wildcat instead of kind of having this secret and trying to keep it close to the vest. Now that you're signed, sealed, delivered, Kentucky, do you kind of feel different than you did 2 weeks ago, and obviously before that?
Yeah, definitely. I feel way different. I mean, I'm happy about it. Really happy about my decision. I'll be going around, telling a couple players that overtime, comes to Kentucky, BBN's the move, But I'm definitely feel different about it. Anxious to, be able to play for them.
Going back to the spring there, you said Pope offered you the first time you talked to him on FaceTime. When was the moment that you knew that Kentucky was going to be an actual player in your recruitment with Pope?
I'd say it was a lot of different times. Coach Pope, in such a short period of time, he used a lot of it to, come see me, or talk to me, him and his whole staff. So, I mean, he came to me and watched me play. EYBL session 2. He came to all my games and, called me after them all and told me different things that he liked about my game and that what he wanted to see me work on. I mean, and then when I made Team USA, he flew out there as well to see me. In training camp, and then he flew to Argentina to watch us play. So I mean, seeing that he did all that and spent his time and commitment into recruiting me, it meant a lot to me.
What was
So
his
was it kind of
reaction?
was it like a slow build then, like with
Yeah.
Kentucky? Like, yeah. So
Mhm.
did he tell you that he was coming to Argentina to come watch you?
Yeah. He definitely told me. I mean, it was a slow process, not knowing really much about Coach Pope. Not knowing how much trust I could put in him into the person that I really don't know much about. So, I mean, just building that relationship and seeing that he spent a lot of time and prioritizing me, it meant a lot to me.
What was his reaction the day you told him? Like, how did you tell him? And then what was his reaction? We asked Malachi last week when he told him they were down on the Rupp Arena floor. He said Pope came up, gave him a big hug. What did he do with you?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Popey always got crazy energy. So I mean, always talking to him each and every day. He was excited. Pushing me. Telling me to commit and stuff like that. So I mean, the day I told him, he I was on a FaceTime call, and he was like, "Man, I'm really excited." He clapping, smiling from ear to ear and stuff like that. I mean, then coming back to the football game and seeing. Well, actually, he came to me on the first live period. He visited me here down in Atlanta, and seeing him in person for the first time and telling him he committed. He came right up to me, gave me a hug, and just was talking for about 45 minutes to an hour. So, seeing that he did all that to him and the whole staff came down here to see me, it meant a lot.
Well, I mean, we got to ask you. You mentioned it the day that you committed. You said that you're going to turn into a recruiter. We did the same thing with Malachi. He kind of kept it close to the vest of who he wanted and all that. He kind of eventually revealed who he was recruiting to join him. Now I got to put you on the spot. Who are you pushing to join you in Lexington? And I feel like there are a couple of very obvious names that BBN definitely wants you to help bring to Lexington.
Yeah, I mean, I seen, been talking to a Kaden a lot, reaching out to him. I got to play with him at Formula Zero, and we played really good together. We ended up winning the championship, but definitely pushing for him. I feel like us in the backcourt and SEC will be very difficult for the other teams to defend and stop. So definitely talking to him, and Caleb as well. I mean, me and I've known Caleb and played against Caleb for a while now, and seeing his development and see how good he is of a player, and knowing that I could feed off him and he could feed off me. I mean, I tried to get him to play with me, a couple summers for Team Thad on the EYBL, but it never. I mean, still pushing him to, maybe team up in college is something that I've been trying to do as well.
Talk about both of their games real quick. Just Caden as a point guard. What does he bring to the table? Kind of what makes him so special, and obviously Caleb as well. Top 5 recruit in the country. What would he bring to the table at Kentucky if you're able to team up with him?
Yeah, Kaden, he a sleeper. He a dog for sure. I mean, I've been telling him, I've known Kaden for a couple of months. We played him last season at Link Academy. I didn't really know too much about him personally, but I mean, he was really good a player. He could score the ball, facilitate. He can do a lot of things. Shoot the ball really well. But I mean, he's playing with him at Formula Zero. I know we can feed off each other, but both being switchable guards, combo guards, scoring threats, or being able to pass and creating offense for each other or anybody else really. So seeing that, it really hopes that I can get him to come to Kentucky. But I mean, Caleb, he's just a very versatile player, definitely an NBA prospect. 6'10", can play 1 through 4 really if you think about it. So knowing he could pass the ball, score whenever needed. He's a great player that I would want to play with for sure.
And on that note, I asked Malachi this last week. There's kind of this reputation when Pope took this job that, okay, we know the offense looks good. We know that, the energy's there, but can he recruit? Like, he has never landed a 5-star at BYU, obviously didn't at Utah Valley either, but can he land those types of dudes? And there's kind of this narrative that, well, Jasper is from Lexington. Well, Malachi's from Georgetown. Pope's supposed to land those guys. But when it comes to an Kaden, when it comes to a Caleb, being in your shoes, knowing what it's like to be recruited by Mark Pope, how crazy do you think that narrative is that, he might not be a top level recruiter?
Saying it's crazy. I mean, that's people from the outside looking in. I mean, it's a lot that goes into recruiting. I know it's a hard thing to do. There's a lot of different programs pitching in different things to different kids, but I mean, it really comes down to whether if you want to where your heart is really. So I mean, like I feel like it's a lot of pressure on me and Malachi as well to recruit as well. So but I feel like Coach Pope is doing a really good job. I feel like he's doing the best he can with spending his time with different players and trying to get to know different people and go elsewhere, travel to meet them and their families and stuff like that. So I feel like he's doing a really good job. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not really something that he can control. I mean, he has a little factor in it, but I mean, it's really on the player.
For sure. Zach, do you have anything before we go to fan questions?
Yeah, just kind of on that note, actually, obviously you had a lot of schools recruiting you for years. Alabama was on you kind of from the beginning. Was there anything just kind of different or unique about the way that Kentucky was recruiting you compared to the other schools?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely say like the whole staff was really recruiting me. I mean, and the head coach, Coach Pope being the head coach, and him spending a lot of time personally recruiting me, it means a lot. I mean, he's gonna be the one that's putting me in the games and has their trust in me and relying on me to make big plays during the game. So building that relationship with my head coach and the assistants as well who are gonna be developing me and helping me throughout the year, it means a lot. So building our relationship with the whole staff it was really important to me.
Zach, you want me to jump into these fan questions? We trade them off if you want to. All right.
Yeah, well, go for it.
J2 center field, does he see himself more as a point guard or shooting guard at Kentucky?
I guess I say, it depends on the Kaden. I feel like I could do both, really. Point guard or shooting guard. I feel like I can shoot the ball really well. I feel like I can pass the ball really well as well. So, it really depends on whatever position Coach Pope needs me to do. I know defensive scouts are going to be a lot based towards me because I'm a really good scorer. So, I mean, if I need to pass the ball and assist to a high hand or anybody, I feel like I can do that or I can score when needed.
Let's see here. Let's go to sorry, Jack, do you have another one lined up? I was looking through a bunch
I like
of them
this
here.
one. Drew Franklin asked, favorite Donato's pizza?
I recently cut out pork out of my diet, so I just stay with cheese pizza right now. So yeah, but I mean, back then I'd probably definitely say pepperoni and bacon for sure as my two toppings on the pizza. But now I just chill with bacon.
I got to ask about that.
With cheese.
Just the creativity behind that. I mean, just the incorporating today's NIL world of college basketball recruiting, being able to do that so cleverly to kind of put your own character and personality into it. Just kind of what went into that, and did you like the execution of how you pulled it off?
Yeah, I definitely like the execution. I mean, me and Nate, my agent of Corp 14, had a plan to, make my commitment as big as possible and, try to change the game of, commitments. So, I mean, him pitching in a couple ideas, me pitching in a couple ideas and actually executing them, with the Nato's pizza box, it was pretty fun to do, but I'm glad we did that and I feel like it went pretty good.
Okay, Connor Riggs got a few of them here. I'll rapid fire them to you. Former Kentucky guard or NBA player that you model your game after?
I like to say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or De'Aaron Fox.
Okay, gotcha.
Got lefty on Fox.
There you go, yeah. Favorite basketball memory?
Favorite basketball memory was probably going to Rep Arena, making it to the Sweet 16 was my old high school.
Yeah. All right, and then the most important question, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
LeBron James. LeBron James. Through and through.
He knows.
I feel you. Benny Bluegrass. It was stated during the recruiting process that Jasper grew up a UNC fan. If true, did his dad, uncle, and grandfather give him some grief for it?
Um, nah. I mean, I feel like they're pretty open. Wanted me to go wherever I felt needed and wherever I was most comfortable with. So, I mean, they didn't really give me any pressure or any hate about it. But nah, they were definitely open. To me going wherever.
See, Tyler Thompson wants to know what it was like growing up as Alvis Johnson's grandson.
A lot of people know him for being a hard coach, screaming, yelling, but everybody always say he was soft towards me. He'll always get a whole bunch of crazy shoes and all the expensive shoes and stuff like that. But I mean, my grandfather, he was really good to me. Being in the gym with me, talking to me sports. He'll always show me, old DVDs and tapes of, my dad and my uncle playing football back then and coaching and stuff like that. But I mean, nah, it was great. Like I like to go to his house all the time because downstairs he has this big Kentucky blue room with all my dad and uncle's success in it, and seeing all that is hopefully I can add to it one day.
They added Tyler added that he was the Vince Marrow before Vince Marrow became Vince Marrow. Just that kind of became a storyline there at the end. Just where did that relationship come from with Vince, and just kind of how football and basketball kind of intertwine in your life?
Yeah, like I said, me going to Sweet 16 with my old high school, his nephew, John McQueer was on that roster.
That's right.
With him being on the roster, my dad and Vince got really close, and then Vince is kind of like an uncle to me now. So I mean, he talks to me often, but I mean, he likes to say, I mean, remember the first time I met Vince, I was playing football back then. He was like, man, honestly, you should just quit basketball, man, and just stick to football. Like, you got this. Like, you can come to Kentucky and, be a QB and stuff like that. But I mean, now he's telling me, he's looking at me, he's proud of me and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, me and Vince are real close now.
He's trying to keep you for himself, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time that you like regretted giving up football, where you were like, man, I had the juice. Like I know I could have been special as a football player. Like, was there ever a time in your life where you said, man, sometimes I just miss, those pads popping?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, yeah, but I know I turned it down for the better of myself. I mean, I know everything happens for a reason, and God has a plan for me in basketball, hopefully. So, I mean, dropping it was hard, but I mean, I know it was for the better. Like my dad, they had played in California this past week.
Yeah.
For football, and I was like, man, Dad, like I could have been a part of that, but you didn't want me to play football no more. And he was like, nah, man, you wasn't good anyways, just having fun. But nah, I definitely miss it sometimes.
Well, it's, on that note, did you ever get to play varsity football under your dad as a coach?
Yeah, I did.
What was that like?
I started playing varsity my freshman year. It was actually because I played JV like all throughout the year, and then right as that season ended for JV, it was like playoffs. So for varsity, and he threw me in there, and I was starting at like outside linebacker. I was like 140 maybe outside, maybe tight. Nah, it was good. I like to say it's kind of weird with my dad. Like, he grew up playing football his whole life. My grandfather was hard on him, but my dad really never said anything to me or yelled at me during football. But as soon as it came to basketball season, he just, that's when it went crazy. He just started yelling at me and a whole bunch of stuff. But nah, it was definitely fun playing for my dad in football.
Well, I'm sure football was probably your first love then. When did basketball kind of come along? When was the moment that you knew that you had something special there?
I don't know. I played a whole bunch of sports growing up. Football, basketball, and baseball, all throughout the year. But football was definitely my first love. But I don't know when basketball really probably started clicking for me. I'll say around eighth grade, seventh grade year. Um, I was playing football, Parks and Rec and stuff with a travel team, and that was my favorite thing to do was play football, and that's what I loved to do at the time. But going in through the years, I was playing for the EYBL and hearing from these different coaches and things like that. And then, that really just started sparking my interest. So I feel like I could take it all the way with this basketball stuff.
I like this one from John Galt for UK. Do you feel that having a father who is a UK legend gives you an advantage because you have someone to help you deal with the pressure that comes with being at Kentucky, being kind of under a microscope here, or does it add pressure, do you think?
Nah, I feel like it definitely helps me. My dad and my uncle, both playing for the University of Kentucky, telling me that, it's a lot, with the fans and stuff and how crazy it gets. So, I know it's a lot of pressure, but I feel like I'm not really feeling that as much, with my peers and my family around me, who can help me get through and those hard times and stuff like that. So, I'm definitely happy to have them around and to give me that advice whenever I need it.
I got a two-part question here. The first one's for me. Did the coaching staff do a lot of film watching with you whenever you were doing visits or anything like that? Was that kind of something that stuck out to you at all?
Yeah, definitely. Coach Pope always told me that he felt like I was, the most dynamic scorer in the country in my class. So, watching his offense and saying that it was made for me to, be able to do what I do best, and that's score the ball at all three levels, and seeing how my game could really fit into the play style as well, and resemblance and between my game and some of the other players he coached, and things like that. So, I feel like I'll be able to, really do what I can do at the highest level with his offense.
And the second part comes from Andrew Burkhead. He wants to know what Pope was telling you that you need to work on for your game going into college. Is there anything in particular you're really focusing on over the next year?
Yeah. Over this next year, I'm definitely, focusing on trying to be more of a point guard. I know, with Coach Pope, I'm gonna have to facilitate as well, and I just shoot all the shots. So being able to, do that, and then, that's like that he said that'll help me, in the NBA. Just being a positionless player and playing both sides of the ball. He's telling me to work on my defense because, if I have that down packed, then, there's really no reason to take me out the game. So, really, really working on both sides of the ball and trying to be a real point guard.
What are kind of the subtle parts of being a point guard that you actually do need to kind of sharpen and hone in on? Is there particular areas of being a point guard that you're really trying to lock down?
Yeah, I definitely say my working on pick and roll, my decision making, making quicker reads with the ball in my hands and stuff like that. I know as a me, I can be a one or a two, so I know I can also be impactful, without the balls in my hands. As a two or as a one, just it's a lot of different things, with Coach Pope's offense that I have to do in order to have success.
I like this one from Zach Bingman. If you had to make a starting five of former Kentucky players and you are included in it, so you got to kind of match your style and kind of what works with you and complementary pieces to you. Who
Yeah.
are the other four guys? So pick a starting lineup, including you.
Including me. That's tough. Um, at the five, I'm gonna have to go DeMarcus Cousins.
Good
At the
choice.
four, I'm gonna go Anthony Davis. At the three, who am I gonna go at the three? I feel like I don't know. I might move. This is in college or this is whenever.
Let's do NBA. Let's do right now. Like, how would
Oh,
you, or
that's tough.
not right now even, but kind of like at
Both,
their
both.
peak. At
Yeah.
their peak.
Yeah.
At the three, I'm gonna go Julius Randle.
Ooh.
There you go. You got some size.
At the two, mm, at the two, I don't know. Either Devin Booker or Malik Monk at the two, and then me at the one.
Hey, that's that. I love it. This is Zach Bingman said this as well. Let's hypothetically say all the underclassmen come back next year. Who are you most excited about playing with? And he
Mhm.
says Kentucky kids don't count, but that only limits you to Otega Oweh and Brandon Garrison.
Yeah.
So you include the Kentucky kids as well,
Mhm.
and I guess Colin Chandler too. But of that 5-man group,
Yeah. I probably have to say Travis then, because I know he's a dynamic shooter. So me being at the one and him at the two or him at the one, me at the two, interchanging and both of us are really good 3-point threats. I feel like that opens up the game a lot. So I'll probably say Travis Berry.
Anything else you want to throw at him, Zach, before we get?
No, I think all the other
popped in
questions here, we've pretty much asked all the other questions that are in here. So
I like
that was
this one
great.
though. I like this one though, real quick. NCKY Cats fan says you have a chance to see Game 7 of the World Series, final round of the Masters, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup, or the Super Bowl in person. Which one do you pick? I guess you can do the NBA Finals too, but
Well, he's going to pick the finals. Come on,
Yeah, definitely.
you know he would.
okay, no finals. One of the others.
I know this. I'll probably say the World Series. I feel like baseball gets crazy. Nah, hold on. Was World Cup an option? Like
It can be.
No, but we'll throw that in there.
Yeah.
World Cup. Soccer gets
World
crazy.
Cup.
I know that. Yeah, I had to pick that.
Well, Jasper, this has been a blast, man. Let's get you out of here. Message to BBN. What's it like? You're locked and loaded with Kentucky now. Your message to BBN about what the future holds with you as a Wildcat.
I'm just really excited to, say I'm committed, and like I said, KY till I die.
Okay, I swear this is my last one. KY till I die. What kind of led to that? And is that like the new motto for you guys moving forward?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Coach Pope, Coach Fugger, telling me, when you commit, you got to say something that really gets to the, UK fan base. And, you hometown local kid. So you got to say something that, really get them intrigued. And, I was just thinking like, what should I say? What should I say? But, at the end of the day, I was like, I'm going to just, go from the heart and go from the head and say whatever's on my heart at the time. And, that's what ended up coming out. So, KY till I die.
And you have some apparel that you have KY till I die. Tell fans how they can purchase some of your merch.
Yeah, I started my own, little brand and some clothing. I'm probably gonna add to it, but it's a link in my Instagram bio. I'll probably post it, the link and stuff like that, so you can get easy access to it. But yeah, you can go buy some shirts and some merch and support.
We love we love NIL around here. We love that Jasper Johnson's a Wildcat, man. We appreciate you coming on. We'll get you out of here. We'll get Pops on here with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.